Hey everyone, this is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich, kind of Arthur after dark. Let's talk a little bit about what we know about Arthur tonight here. Let's see, it's Wednesday at 3:38 when I'm recording this, so just before midnight as we go to Thursday. Thursday's kind of the big day. Let's get into the latest on what's going on with Arthur. There's a look at the satellite and radar together. In some cases, it looks somewhat good, but not very healthy. The eastern side looks great. The western side is garbage. There's dry air getting in train still, and there's still some, basically some stable air here just kind of squashing out the western side. The eye wall is open, so it's not in a big hurry. And if you look carefully, I'm detecting a little bit of a northeasterly jaunt here. Let's put it right there, and we'll start it down here. I think there's a little bit of a jaunt going on there. So I think we may have seen the beginning of a little bit. Let's see if that trend continues. It's always tough with these short loops. But one of the things you notice right off the bat, the right side looks way better than the left side. This looks great. Tons of outflow this way. Outflow to the north is hindered a lot. Here's your trough back to the west. That trough is digging down. This is what's going to help push it out to sea. Eventually the storm's going to want to go like that. And a good telltale sign and kind of a trick of the trade here, look at this outflow right in here. See this outflow? If you follow that outflow, that's typically pointing the direction that the storm wants to go. So you look where that outflow is going, and that gives you a good indication on where it's going. The right side of this storm is going to be the big side. This is going to be the big side of the storm here with all of the wind. I mean, if you're on this side of the storm, you're going to get a ton of wind. West side's very narrow corridor of wind, so probably not a really big deal. If it's within 100 miles of the coast, you may get very little, if anything. Here was the 11 p.m. advisory, 70-mile-an-hour winds. Pressure falling a little bit, not much, but it has fallen. But notice that the wind speeds have not followed suit. It is moving at 9, and it's probably going to pick up speed. Here it is at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Pretty far off the coast here. Just a quick view from Charleston. It's about 102 miles away from Charleston. That is outside of the range of the tropical storm force winds, which only extend 80 miles, and most of that is to the east. 8 p.m. Thursday, noticed that the system is probably going to be about 65 miles east of Wilmington. And then we go towards 3 a.m., and it's right over Cape Hatteras. This is the area we're worried about, right in here, that's going to get nailed. We're going to see some significant issues in this area, so that's certainly something to watch out for. I think Cape Hatteras is the one area the most susceptible to some storm surge and likely some issues all the way down to Morehead City. But notice by 9 a.m. the storm is up here. It's moving away. So this is going to be an overnight Thursday, 8 p.m., 8 a.m. There's your time, 12-hour window of really bad weather on the North Carolina coast. And then things are going to improve dramatically along the coast. Here's your tropical storm warnings. Everything in orange does include the Myrtle Beach area, but honestly, it's probably going to be well below tropical storm warning criteria. Here's your hurricane warning. I think this is very well placed. And again, Carteret County and the Outer Banks, especially the southern Outer Banks, the area we're most concerned about. I think this is a very telling graphic. This is the wind field. 5 p.m. Thursday. You see some tropical storm force winds, maybe even towards, out there towards Oak Isle, Emerald Isle. We might see some 50, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. But here's where the problem is. 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Friday morning, Morehead City to Hatteras. Here's your big-time winds. Hurricane force conditions there early Friday morning. By 5 a.m., the system starts to move away. And as I mentioned, late morning Friday, even on the Outer Banks, you can start cleaning up and probably wondering what just happened. It's going to be a beautiful 4th of July for fireworks. Here's your impacts, low impacts in the South Carolina coast. Some storm surge, but higher tides, surf, and rip currents. The big issue in the Myrtle Beach area. Please be careful swimming down here. Swimming is going to be very dangerous, not only Thursday, not only Friday, but probably even into the weekend, as what's going to happen on the backside of the storm, we're going to have offshore winds, which will continue to promote rip tides and rip currents. So please be very careful. Now, high impacts, obviously from Morehead City up to Cape Hatteras. That area could see 2 to 4 feet of storm surge, and certainly something to be on the lookout for. Here's your main steering currents. We've got a big trough in the atmosphere over the middle of the country. It's digging down and pushing east, and this is actually a fairly strong trough for this time of year. This is going to bring some really cool air on the backside. We're talking lows in the upper 50s in parts of the western Carolinas, maybe even down to the upper 40s in the mountains, dare I say. So this kind of pattern, the storm has to go northeast. It's just a question of how quickly that happens. And tonight, based on what I'm seeing on the satellite loop, I'd have to say that that has started already. So the good news, if that turn continues, we may have a near miss for the Outer Banks. But that 12-hour window, let me reiterate this. If you're in Carteret County, Dare County, Pamlico Sound area, Outer Banks area, 8 p.m. Thursday night to 8 a.m. Friday morning, that 12-hour window, that's when the weather's going to be bad. You don't want to be in a low-lying area. You don't want to be anywhere near the water. If you can get to higher ground for that 12-hour period, you're great. Good news, after that 12-hour period's over, great conditions. As long as the roads aren't blocked, as long as there's not water, sand on Highway 12, which there could be, no issues the rest of the holiday weekend. And locally in Charlotte, mid-80s, upper 80s, mostly sunny skies all 3 days of the holiday, and low humidity. Now that is a great weekend. That's the latest for tonight. If anything changes overnight, of course, you can follow me on all of these outlets, WCNC.com, the Weathercaster app, and social media. I do sleep, but not very much, especially in a situation like this, and we'll keep those up to date. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow.